Hey guys, it's Isolation Gamer 05. Welcome back to another video of our F1 2020 My Driver Career Mode, episode number 9 today for the Spanish Grand Prix. If you missed our previous episode at the Dutch GP, it's your choice if you want to watch it because, well, we had quite a few big mistakes in the wet, but let's hopefully turn it around for this race. Anyway, as you can see, we head into this race with a very worn gearbox, and around 70-75% is where the gearbox will start to fail, so we need to be very careful and limit our shifts for this race around Spain. But as we head into the weekend, we're going to try and get a weight reduction upgrade for the chassis, but both options won't get it ready until Monaco, so we'll just go for the standard, for the safer bet. And with no upgrades, we're heading into Spain, a track that's typically doesn't give very good racing, but hopefully we can turn it around and not fall too far behind the competition. But in contrast to Zandvoort, it's going to be rather overcast but no rain scheduled, but with the lack of upgrades we fall beneath Haas in the performance index, so hopefully our lack of upgrades does not hinder us, and let's head into qualifying is what I'd normally say, but I actually lost the footage for the qualifying, and so yeah, kind of embarrassing. I apologize. Hopefully it won't happen again for future videos, but we'll just be looking at the race this time around. But so the video will be a little shorter, but hopefully everything works out. So without qualifying, let's just head into the race.
The Spanish Grand Prix has been a permanent fixture on the Formula One calendar for over 30 years now, and for good reason. Do you remember Michael Schumacher's absolute dominance here in that rain-soaked Grand Prix in 1996? That day he took his first ever victory for Ferrari, and we've had many more iconic moments since. The circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya then, a high-speed 2.89-mile circuit which demands an efficient downforce package and bravery on the part of the driver, especially through the blind right of turn 9, which we might just see taken flat this weekend. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Can we begin by having a chat about Sergio Perez? Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, Skip, Ricciardo, Sainz, Norris, and Esteban Ocon, Hamilton, Stroll, Pierre Gasly, and Grosjean, Kvyat, Magnussen, Antonio Giovinazzi, and George Russell. Latifi and Sergio Perez completes our grid. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, so anyway, as you can see from the starting grid, we're starting on P6, and for the first time in what seems like forever, a Mercedes is not on the front row. It's a Verstappen and Vettel, so hopefully we'll maybe see someone other than a Merc win. Maybe us. No, it's probably not going to be us. But anyway, here we are into the race, and well, yeah, here we go into this strategy, and we're going to do a two-stop. The tire wear around Spain is very high, so it's going to be a set of softs to 2 sets of mediums. But anyway, here we go. The 5 red lights of a worn gearbox. It's lights out, and away we go. And it's an amazing start off the line. We pass 3 cars right away off the straight. We pass Mercedes, Leclerc, and Albon as we go late braking into turn 1. We pass Vettel. Vettel's still on our side. We squeeze him out around turn 2 and into the long sweeping right of turn 3, and we're into P2, our highest position. Well, no, actually no, it's not our highest position, but we go wide into turn 4, which gives room for Sebastian Vettel to come across, and he gives us a little tap on our front rear. Quite an aggressive move from the Ferrari driver, but we slot into P3, so kind of the similar position we were in at Zandvoort just last race. But let's look at the replay. Look at the start off the line. We're a rocket. We pass by a Red Bull, a Ferrari, and the Mercedes of Bottas, and we run alongside with Vettel, and heading into the first corner we just brake really late and we just go on the outside and we get onto the racing line beautifully. But I'm wondering, why was Vettel so aggressive with us? We look at Vettel's cam and, well, okay, maybe
He didn't leave the space. I could have easily get stay patient. You're clearly quicker.
Okay, well, from that team radio, clearly I didn't give him much space, and there was contact, I will admit. And, well, yeah, I can see why Vettel was a little aggressive. Funny that his radio was his Red Bull engineer. Anyway, looking at the gearbox, we're already at 71% after qualifying and practice 3, so yeah, we've really got to start keeping, oh my god, I can't speak, keeping the gearbox within the right, oh god, I can't, you know what I mean, I'm just blanking out. Anyway, heading down the main straight onto lap 4, nothing really happens because, you know, it's Barcelona, but Bottas has the DRS, and well, yeah, that Mercedes is just too fast for us, so we just let him through into turn 1, and we slot him behind it. So we're off the podium right now, but we can still get, we can still pass him on the pit after a pit stop. And speaking of our pit stop, we're gonna box early on lap 5 because, well, like I said, the tire wear around Spain is very, very bad. And here we are heading out of the last chicane into the pit lane, and yeah, you can see, like, many people hate the chicane. I can see why. I really did not like driving around that in the race. But heading into the pits, and no one else is pitting, so we're the only one in. So hopefully we can get the undercut on these guys as we put on the mediums. And very slow stop from the boys, about 3 seconds, which, think of it as you will. And we're in dead last as Nicholas Latifi passes us as we head out on towards turn 1. So we've got a lot of catching up to do, but keep in mind a lot of the drivers will be making their first pit stops towards further on in the race, so we'll just have to, we'll be passing a few people in the pits. As you can see, Sainz pits very early and we pass him. A little strange from the McLaren driver, but as we see with DRS, rich mix, and overtake, and we pass Latifi very easily because the Williams is still the worst car on the grid. But we even pass Sainz in the pits. As you can see from Sainz's camera, as he comes out, you can see how fast we are heading down that straight with the long DRS zone. And here we are into the blind right. No, this is turn 4 coming up. But that was very poor exit at a turn 3. We could have spun easily having gone on the grass. But as we look at the gearbox, we're at 73% now. So we're edging towards that danger zone where the gearbox might start to have malfunction. But as you see, Albon pulls out of the pits in front of us, so we've pretty much arrived back at where we started on the grid, around a provisional P6 around, because Albon was the car in front of us, I believe. And here we have DRS and Rich Mix as we're heading on towards Albon on the main straight. We're having a great run, but he's fighting the Williams of Russell. Great battle, which has slowed down Russell for us. And here we are, Russell takes the line, a wide line, but on the racing line we carry more speed into turn 3, and what a move by us. That is not a typical overtaking zone at Barcelona, but we just managed to make it stick, and it was all because of Albon. As you can see on the replay, Albon with the DRS puts up a great battle with Russell, and he manages to go around the outside of George Russell, and because Russell's line was compromised because Albon had the right to the racing line, and the fighting let us just catch up with our DRS. And with Russell off the line, we managed to slot in alongside of him. And while Russell did have the inside around turn 3, look at the speed we're carrying, and within track limits too. That was a beautiful move on our part. Probably one of the best moves we've made this season, and I'm very happy with that. But here we are heading towards Albon, and we late brake, sending it into turn 10. And well, Albon with the Red Bull should be faster, but it's strange that Albon hasn't been showing very much pace over the last 2 episodes. So hopefully he doesn't mimic the trend that his real-life counterpart made last season. And we go side by side into turn 10, doing the same move. We're still side by side, heading into turn 11, but we just managed to squeeze him out as we take the racing line. Albon pokes his nose in again as we go around turn 13, but everything seems to work out for us. And so, navigating that terrible chicane, we're up towards where we want to be. And this is totally not because I forgot the position we're in. And as we pass, you can see the replay, we're just side by side, a great battle. Not typically what you see during the real-life Spanish Grand Prix, but here we are nonetheless. And look who's ahead of us, our teammate Giovinazzi, but we go way too wide, and well, Albon of the DRS just takes his place back. And so we're in P14 on the road. Like I said, once the people ahead of us make their pit stops, we'll probably be further up as we lose the back end heading out of turn 10 or 11, I believe. Yeah, turn 11. Not very good. And our gearbox at 74, so we're almost at that point where we kind of have to be concerned as we head into turn 4 again. And we're trying to go another move for Albon. We're on lap 14 at this point, going around the outside. We're side by side again. What a ding-dong battle. Albon and us, we might have to make Albon our championship rival after we destroy Kvyat, because this is a great battle. We squeeze him out, heading out of turn 8 and onto turn 9. We get some DRS, but Albon is closing rapidly, but our teammate is giving us a great tow as he squeezes him out around turn 10. What a great move by us. But here's a replay on our move on Albon. And this is a great battle, a battle we shouldn't be having with a car like the Red Bull. So I wonder whether Albon has some sort of engine wear or something's wrong with the car, because there's no reason why, no matter, regardless whether about Albon's driver capability, there's no reason why an Alfa Romeo, especially having dropped below the performance index, should be beating a Red Bull on pure pace. But as Giovinazzi enters the pits, we inherit P12 on the road. Everyone's starting to pit now, so we're into P9. And as we're heading down the main straight onto the next lap, on lap 15, we're setting up personal best laps because of the clean air in front of us. But there's a yellow flag behind us as we enter lap 16 of the race. And I wonder whether someone broke down or something happened behind us. We head into out of turn 2, heading onto turn 3, trying to keep our speed up as we go around this fast corner. And as we go, and it's Albon. Albon's out of the Grand Prix, which is he's very high up on the standings, and this is going to completely throw a wrench in his race. And it appears there was just some engine failure on the main straight, but it gets you wondering why there's no safety car. This is a very dangerous place to be slowing down on, because that's a DRS zone, so cars are going to be reaching their maximum speeds on this long straight. And as you can see, he blocks the racing point heading out of the pits, so there's definitely something wrong with that Red Bull.
Mechanics, we need to slow down. We're retiring, please.
Why?
Yeah, we'll explain when you get back, mate.
Yeah, just terrible for him, especially for his place in the standings of no points. That's just not going to work. But heading on to lap, I believe it's the lap 19 of the race, we have to pit again because the tire wear again has started to kick in, and we're not setting very good times, but we're in P4 on the road, so again, everyone's got to make another stop, so we could be towards maybe a podium. Would be very, very, if everything was going our way, we'd make it a podium, but I'm going to have to go top 5. We could get a top 5 finish, so that would be very good for us. And I just realized this is maybe one of the first races, aside from China, we have that we don't need a front wing change, but it's irrelevant because the boys give us a slow pit stop and Sainz jumps us in the pits. Sainz was behind us before the pit stop, so the boys really screwed us over, and now we have another car to make it around. That's just embarrassing, but let's see it again. Sainz comes in after us. You can see us ahead on the pit straight as we enter our box, but as we enter, Sainz is leaving, and the boys put in such a slow pit stop that Sainz just beats us naturally. That's just embarrassing. I don't know what the Alfa Romeo pit crew is up to these days. Anyways, but we break late into turn 10. Gasly ahead of us locks up, so we could have rammed into him easily if we hadn't hit our braking zone, or if we had locked up ourselves, but we passed Sainz very easily with the DRS, so things worked out for us. We get the DRS again heading into turn 10 on the next lap, but Gasly locks up again, so the AlphaTauri is struggling with that corner, and so we having lost some of his momentum. We get the DRS, rich and overtake, and we're in the slipstream of Gasly. Gasly gives us the room. He tries to squeeze us out in the main straight, but we're carrying so much speed. We pass him on pure pace, and we're up into P8 of this race. Great stuff from us. Here we are, and now we're on the back of our championship rival Kvyat as we try to do a crazy, stupid maneuver around the chicane of turns 14 and 15 into the medium speed, high speed corner of turn 16, getting a great launch onto the main straight. DRS, rich and overtake. We're going to pull the same move we did on Gasly. Go to the right, trying to make Kvyat take the bait, and he does. And he tries to squeeze us out. We go around turn 1, and he manages to do a switchback, and he goes on the outside, and he just goes off. He loses the back end somehow. We get a collision warning, so he must have hit us at some point. But what happened? Let's see the replay. You can see this great move on us. We fake him out, and we take him around the inside. We go onto the racing line. But what exactly happened? he just goes right into us. Why did he do that? Let's look at his T-cam and see if we can get a better look at what happened. As we go around him, we get the racing line, but...
What is he doing? Why did he do that? Front wing damaged.
Yeah, but I don't know what Kvyat's saying. He thinks it's our fault, but clearly it's his. Because look, we have the racing line, and we're on the racing line. We're obligated to take that. We don't exactly really turn in, but Kvyat's going wide. Maybe it's because of the hard tires he has on. He doesn't have much grip. I'm struggling, even in slow motion, to understand what's happening. Like, he takes that turn really wide. We're still on the racing line. You could argue that we do cut him off, but I don't understand why Kvyat tried to make a move there, and part of his front wing does come off. So we did kind of screw his race over, but I'm just going to go racing incident just to play it safe. But here we go. We dive the racing point of Lance Stroll, our fellow Canadian. But again, we're having a battle similar to Albon, but Stroll squeezes us out. We put a tire on the grass, and on the hard tires, that racing point is still looking rapid, but we brake quickly into turn 13, heading to the chicane, and we pass the racing point with ease. We needed to get that move done, because if we didn't, well, we'd have to slot in behind or else risk crashing. But as you can see, late braking, but the switchback works for the racing point. In this instant, if you go around turn 13, sorry, that's turn 12, my bad, and yeah, the racing point has good pace, and well, but we managed to just dive again, so 2 dive bombs really put us up in this race as we head on to lap 30, and oh god, the gearbox at 77%. The fact that we haven't had an issue is crazy to think of, but there's yellow flags behind us, so someone else has had an issue that we should really be having with the gearbox we have. Let's see who it is on the road. It's Lance Stroll. Is our car cursed? Are we just like hexing these drivers as we dive bomb them around turn 10? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's just weird. Like, it's 2 cars that we've passed. Similar ways we've passed them with a dive bomb in a heavy braking zone have just broken on the main straight. As we go into the cockpit view of Lance Stroll, and as he heads down the straight, you can just... yeah, something's wrong with that Mercedes engine in this case, but it is kind of weird that 2 cars that we passed in very similar fashions both broke down the same way. But as we head on to lap 33, the last lap of the race, Bottas wins the Grand Prix. So, unfortunately, the non-Mercedes front row really didn't bring up anything. But as you can see, as Jeff came on the radio, we lose second gear. As you can see, we're struggling to find a gear, and the car is jolting. But thankfully, it's the last lap, so we should be able to bring it home. But heading into the chicane of turns 14 and 15, oh god, you can see how compromised our line is as the car lurches forward, trying to reach the gear. But thankfully, we don't have to negotiate that many corners. And we finished the race in P6, so we finished exactly where we started. Not bad, I do have to say. And no really huge mistakes from us. So, all in all, a really good race. Probably up there in our top 3 races I think we've done so far. But very promising stuff from us, despite the fact that we dropped in the performance index.
They've done it then. A spectacular victory here in Spain and a massive confidence boost going into the next race. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Yeah, so in the end, very good race for us. And Hamilton, from 11th on the grid, makes it to 2nd. So, I don't know, I guess Hamilton not making it into Q3 really just does something for him. And I don't think he got an engine penalty too. He just didn't make it in, which is surprising. But in every race he started out of the top 10, he still managed to make it onto the podium. So, that Mercedes, I mean, it's pretty obvious is going to win everything, constructors and drivers. But Leclerc, great race again, makes it onto the podium for the 2nd race in a row. Unfortunately, Max Verstappen, our pole sitter, goes into P4. But Magnussen makes it to the top 10 in the Haas. So great race from the Haas driver, and even more so for 10th place Sergio Perez, who makes up 10 places, and of course he wins driver of the day, and I think that's deserved. Gio, on the other hand, not so great a race from him, finishing 17th overall, so he doesn't really make up a place. So I guess the pace he's showing isn't really representative of us, and Kvyat gets screwed over and he finishes in 19th, but it was really his fault. And in the championship standings, we're still 7th. And Albon drops to 4th. He falls way below because of his DNF in this race. But pretty much, we're in a league of our own, really. We're not exactly in the front runners, because obviously the Alfa Romeo is not very good, but we're the best of the rest, which is weird to say considering, again, the car that we're driving. But as we head into the constructors' standings, and again, we're just carrying this team into 4th. So we're really outdriving this car, but that might change considering our next race. But I'll let you guys wait until then. Anyways, we're way ahead in our rivalry against Kvyat, so we're going to have to choose a new driver, and I think it's going to be Albon. But anyway, that was the race. Apologies again for losing the qualifying footage, but as always, thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below, leave a like, and well, I'll see you guys next time for another race video. I'm Isolation Gamer 05. Stay safe out there, and until next time, peace out.